There should be no weapons going from here to Israel. And also, in addition to this, it's important to remember that Britain also buys Israeli weapons. Only to spend less than 10% of arms export licenses to Israel is completely insufficient. And also, it's important to acknowledge that that's 10% of licenses. We don't know if that's 10%. We don't know the percentage of how much arms or how much those licenses are worth overall, how many parts on each license allowed to be sent over. So that could be a lot less than 10% of arms that are being sent from this country to Israel. There should be no weapons going from here to Israel. And also, in addition to this, it's important to remember that Britain also buys Israeli weapons from companies like Elbit Systems, Israel's biggest weapons manufacturer. Elbit use Gaza as a laboratory to develop their weapons and market them as battle tested. And they are able to build these weapons across England and Wales in factories in this country, and they are also being bought by the British government. So buying Israeli weapons, which are developed during the ongoing genocide, is only encouraging the genocide to continue and means that these companies are able to profit from war crimes. So there is another part of this element as well, which is the buying of Israeli weapons, and that hasn't been stopped at all by this partial arms suspension to Israel. Anything going from this country to Israel is going to be used, could be used to commit genocide against Palestinians, and Israel has to be completely sanctioned. So I don't believe it is sufficient, and it's also coming 11 months into the current Gaza genocide. But what it does show is that the UK government have acknowledged that Israel is committing war crimes, otherwise they wouldn't have suspended even the small amount of arms that they have done, which means that they are now openly admitting that the UK has been breaking international law for the past 11 months and is still doing that by continuing any arms trade with the Zionist regime. Action for the past 4 years has been taking direct action against Israeli weapons factories across England, Wales, and now across the world as well. We go straight to the source. We go to these factories and we shut them down repeatedly through blockades, by occupying the roof of these factories and sometimes breaking inside these factories to destroy the weapons of war. And we have been doing this consistently over the past 4 years, which has led to the closure of several of Elbit's weapons factories, the permanent closure of several factories. In response to this, the British state has gone above and beyond in order to repress Palestine action in a bid to protect Israel's weapons trade, and also showing that they prioritize the interests of a foreign genocidal entity over the freedom and rights of its own citizens. And this is very deliberate tactics used to repress people, and also they are looking for ways to apply these laws to activists in order to try and stop us and intimidate us into stopping the direct action against the Israeli weapons factories. But that won't work. We're not going to be intimidated into stopping. Our movement is growing day by day. And it also shows that what we are doing is working because they are so desperate to stop us, but we will not let them defeat us.